What's going on, friends? This is the Creality Otter. It's one of their 3D scanners in their lineup. Now, what you can do is take an entire image of your body and 3D scan it and 3D print it, just like this. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you how I took my good friend Sam's scan, printed it, and then merged it with another model. We're also going to talk about the rest of the lineup from Creality as well. But of course, this video is brought to you by Pcbway.com and Polymaker, the very best in PCB manufacturing and 3D printed filament. Let's get straight on into this one.
You are watching a master at work.
This channel is sponsored by Polymaker and Pcbway, the best choice in filament and PCB manufacturing.
Explore PCBway's 3D printing portal. Easily upload your STL file and choose from a spectrum of exotic filaments for that special project. From PCBs to 3D prints, trust Pcbway.com for your unmatched quality and innovation. Visit them today at Pcbway.com. Today we're looking at the current Creality lineup of 3D scanners, which includes the Otter, which I have here, which is very much the budget-friendly offering at £699 or $719, again depending on whether or not it's on a deal. Then the Raptor and the brand new Raptor X, which range from $1,500 up to $3,500, possibly more, and we'll get into that in more detail later. The Otter is the unit that I'll be using to scan in this video, but I wanted to touch on the Raptor scanners because they're the most up-to-date products inside of the Creality ecosystem. And it's that ecosystem department which also features products like the Falcon laser machines, filament, dryers, and even 3D printed shoes. They never sent me any shoes. And as you may or may not know, I've spent several weeks over in Shenzhen over the past couple of years at Creality and looking at their product lineup. And it's Jesse Joy that takes the lead inside of the scanning department. And inside of those visits and various meetings at events like ShareFest and other 3D printing events, I've been scanned by Joy many times and replicated much to the amusement of others. But scanners of course have more than one use. They've been used in video games using body and face mapping in high-end production and indie games, and more functionally to scan models to print, showing concept, production, and manipulation, aiding that ever-important reality. And let's be fair, if you're watching this video, then you're more than likely interested in scanning something, and I hope by watching this I can demonstrate how you can achieve that desired results, and how easy it can be to scan, render, output, and master. So let's get into the specs. The rather oddly named Creality Otter scanner is the portable entry-level device focused on precision and versatility, alongside the Raptor in the Creality's lineup. With its 0.02mm scanning accuracy and 24-bit color depth, anti-shake technology, and 20 frames per second, it supports object ranging all the way from 10mm up to 2 meters. It can also scan black and metallic surfaces without requiring spray. Its 4-lens stereo vision system provides detailed short and long-range scanning, while the software includes modes for face and body scans, enabling true-to-life reproductions in .obj, .stl, or PLY formats. It's lightweight at only 330 grams, and it includes an OWL demo model, cables, and protective case. The scanner works with Windows, Mac OS, including non-Intel MacBooks, iOS and Android using the wireless bridge, with 8 infrared lights for maker-based scanning, and it's Class 1 laser rated for eye safety, although scanning in your eyes is not advised. However, the Otter's big brother is the Creality Raptor. This is a professional-grade 3D scanner positioned between the entry-level and industrial use. It features a hybrid system combining blue lasers and NIR, which is near-infrared scanning, effectively capturing objects between 5mm and 2 meters without spray, offering 0.02mm accuracy and 7 parallel laser lines. It produces sharper edges and greater detail. It operates at high speeds at 60 frames per second for the blue laser and 20 frames for the NIR, making full body scans quick and precise. It's quite the imposing device, but despite its robust design, the Raptor only weighs in at 372 grams and houses a 2.3 million pixel 3D imaging camera. It excels at large design and intricate tasks, from bolts to car bumpers, and being housed in a rugged industrial case. While the price is over 3 times of that of the Otter, it's an ideal investment for advanced applications if budget allows. And finally, the new kid on the block, it's the even bigger brother to the Raptor X. Now, this is Creality's latest scanner. It delivers peak performance in their lineup as a versatile 3-in-1 device. It combines 34 cross-layer lines, 7 parallel laser lines, and enhanced NIR technology, achieving 0.02mm accuracy again. The NIR, in this case, operates at 30 frames per second, with laser scanning maintaining at 60 frames per second. Supporting a wireless bridge via Wi-Fi 6, it offers seamless operation and weighs in at 405 grams. Now, this is very much engineered for large-scale scans of up to 4 meters squared, which is pretty incredible. And with its 2.3 million pixel 3D imaging camera and focus on high detail, sizable scans, it's very much ideal for an industrial application, although the Raptor may suit better for personal full-body scanning needs. So compared to the Raptor X is equipped with 34 cross blue laser lines. Now, scanning and wireless scanning, its scanning speed of 1.02 million points per second is actually 2.4 times of the Raptor. The depth of field is 1.8 times of the Raptor, and the width is twice of the Raptor again, and I'm guessing that's to do with the width of range, which is basically significantly improving scanning efficiency without compromising details. Now, whichever scanner you choose to go with, you'll still be importing this into your Creality software, which is called Creality Scan, and this is downloadable free from the Creality website. So let's talk a little bit about what you get in the pack, and of course this is the little box that it all comes in, and inside of that, of course, we do have the scanner with associated cables. We do have a couple of mats as well. There's a black one. There's a calibration mat as well, which we're going to use in just a second. There's a QR code on the back here. Basically, you scan that, and then you've got to do a bunch of up and down movements with the scanner to get the calibration right. Your service kit, and of course, these little bits and pieces here, which are going to be used for scanning. Also inside of the box, we've got another USB cable. We've got a USB A to C converter as well. And we've actually got 2 of those. Got a cleaning kit, and also this little owl, which we're going to scan hopefully in the next couple of minutes. All the instructions, of course, for this and how to use it are going to be on the website, so you can easily download that. But let's open up the software now and see what we can get to. So because we haven't used this for a little while, there is a new update for it, and all you do is you click this link. That takes you to the Creality site. You then import that, which is a .bin file. And all you do is hit upgrade, and the firmware will then be upgrading relatively quickly. There's a few flashing lights on the back of here. It goes yellow and green, and it's all upgraded and ready to go. Now, the fact that I've just upgraded it, does that now mean that I've got to go through the calibration again? So let's do this one final time then. Let's hit the calibrate button, and we're going to scan the QR code first. You can see my hand there. Let's hit that button. There we go. Right, so let's start as we mean to go on. So this part was a little bit long-winded, so I figured that I'd speed through the process, as it was actually pretty easy. Now, on the back of the white calibration board, there is a QR code. You scan that code with the scanner and then follow the calibration instructions. This, for the most part, is moving the scanner up and down, left and right, forward and backwards, while it works out the dot distances. Once you've followed along, you should then get a score. Mine in this case was around about 92%, but I'll certainly hazard a guess that perhaps in the future I would do better next time. The user manual is here. And again, the only thing I didn't know about on this so far is relatively easy and pretty intuitive. There's basically these buttons, and that's basically exposure and start and stop. So that is basically all I needed to know. So everything else is pretty easy. And again, this is all the stuff you get inside of that. The USB 2, USB 3, adapters, and the test scanning object, which is this little owl here, which we're going to give it a go in a minute. Now, I have used this already, and I have scanned Sam's face in this, which is obviously what you saw earlier on in the video. Let's just click back to this new project. Let's call it Owl, because that's what we're going to be scanning first. Let's just get on with it, shall we? Okay, so as you can see here, this is the object, and you can see the RGB camera there as well. So let's hold this up like that, and basically I think we're going to just move it around. Let's see if we're able to get that. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so let's just make sure I've not got too much in the background there. So on the left hand side, it gives you the information that you're going to need, whether or not it's optimal settings. So let's hit the start button, which I could do by pressing this. Yes, there you go, that works. Okay, so we're just going to move this round. Okay, let's go back. Let's move this around again slowly. So when we saw the Raptor is a bit of a favourite of mine. over the Otter, but the Otter does do a sterling job. And if you're a user that's perhaps not going to use this all the time, I'd imagine this is probably quite a good purchase. But this is the one they gave me to kind of try out and mess around with. I haven't really had anything up until now to do. There was a project that I was hoping to get involved with, which seemingly didn't happen, which was scanning a car part and then printing a car part. But that is yet to materialize. Let's just move this down a little bit. Just want to make sure I'm not missing any of the little parts there. Let's move this back. Okay, it's not like that. Okay, so let's see how good this is at recognizing where it is. Let's keep moving it around. Okay, move back to the previous scan area. Okay, let's get back to here then. There we go. Let's pick that up straight away. Okay, we're going to move this down. Because what I want to make sure we're doing is getting underneath these parts, because otherwise we're going to have holes. Of course, the Raptor is much quicker at scanning than the Otter is. But again, if that doesn't really matter, and you're just after a quick, easy scanner, I think this could definitely be for you. And if there are any deals on these, of course, I'll leave those down in the description below. Okay, so exclude the flatbed. What does clear mean? Okay, we don't want to hit that button, of course. So that's what we've got so far. There's a bit underneath here that perhaps needs a bit more attention. This is what I was talking about down here with leaving out kind of space and stuff. So let's hit that button again. Let's see if it recognizes it. Let's go. Yes, it does. Look at that. Just move this up. Literally, you can see my coffee in the background. That's hilarious. Okay, let's restart this then. Let's go back to here. See if we can get it to recognize it. It's not recognizing it just yet. So let's come back to the top of the head. And that might be because I'm moving the object. Okay, well, let's stop. Let's go and see how we can export this now. So that's the new scan. That's complete the scan and hit the button. So let's hit this button and just see how it comes out. Okay, so to process this, hit the button here. Yep, let's do it. Let's see what we get. Cheers. Okay, cool. Hey, you know what? That's not bad, is it? So it's just meshing now. So we should get this in full color. And you can see that it's obviously scanned the base here. So we can remove that. Hey, look at that. That's not bad. Hey, that's not bad at all. I'm pretty happy with that. That's cool. Okay, so let's see if we can then edit this. And what we should be able to do now, so there's hole filling here, simplification, and you can see where the processes are here. So if we hit, let me see if I can find the button here. One-click processing. Let's do, okay, let's do this. And then hit this button once it's loaded. Okay, right, down here is where we want. So if we grab this lasso, and I believe this button here, we should be able to select the stuff we don't want. So that's all good. I'm quite happy with that. We also want to obviously put a bottom on this as well. Let's see if we can hit the mesh button, see what happens now. Okay, so that now puts the bottom on. We've now got this bit, which we need to get rid of. Donk. And obviously we've got some bits here that are undesirable, but we can't do a huge amount about that at the minute. The only thing I could do is perhaps when I export it is I could maybe lower this down, and we'll show that off a little bit in the video. Again, we can only okay, now we can export an as STL, so we're just going to call this owl. I'm going to put that into our Creality Slicer, which is here. There's my buddy Sam. Let's get rid of his little definitely going to leave that in the edit. Let's hit our owl.stl, which is what we're looking for, which is this one here. Bosh. And there is our owl for all to see. Now, the software for Creality is not my favorite. I'm going to be honest. I do prefer Orca Slicer to do this, but we're going to hit the button anyway. So let's hit there. Let's do that. So what you could do, if you wanted to print that, you could just get away with printing that, I think. Although on the balance of things, it wouldn't print particularly well because you've got lots of other artifacts and stuff inside of that. Now, Generally, you'd probably want to export this into a Blender package, but we don't have that, and I don't have the expertise on how to do that either. So I'm going to try and reposition this so it prints nicely. I think that's pretty cool. And then what I'm going to do is probably, so in Orca Slicer, you have a way to cut the object. Now, I was chatting to somebody yesterday, and they were suggesting that the reason Creality has kind of put this into a kind of more basic format is for working with new people. But that's all well and good. But if you don't necessarily have the advanced features as well, you're really cutting your nose off to spite your face, so to speak. So let's have a look here and see if there's anything else in here. But what you can do is you can basically cut the model. And unfortunately, it's not going to allow us to do that inside of here. So let's go into Orca Slicer. Sorry, Creality Slicer. Now, if I change this out from the Pcbway Poly to the K2 Plus, we discard those things here. And then, of course, now we're going to just have the owl again, which is here. Drag and drop. Job done. Okay, what you can do here now is you can basically cut this. So let's grab the model. Let's hit this button here. Let's try and put it onto its belly, so to speak, or its back. Hit the model again. Right, so here is your slicing tool. So that's slicing as in cutting, not as in slicing, as in formatting the image. So let's move this down. Let's come to about here, I think. All I want to do here is really just put a bottom on this. So if we cut this and perform the cut, that's done. He's happy. And if we go across to objects, we should see the top and we should see the bottom. The bottom is this one, I believe. No, that's the top. So we can delete that. Easy as that. And then we've got a bottom already put on and pre-sliced. I thank you. I thank you. Look at that. So the other thing we can do here in Orca Slicer is basically we can go to File. We can then export, and we can export that as one STL. So we can call that Creality Owl. Save that to the desktop. We can then go back to Creality Slicer, which is here. We can remove our owl by right-clicking and then deleting, which is kind of annoying. And then we're going to go to Creality Owl, just like that. Drag and drop. And we have our model exported freshly from Orca Slicer into Creality Slicer. And you know what? Let's hit the button now and see if we can print this thing. I'm going to change a few settings here. We're going to get some more detail on it. Let's whack this down to 0.12 and hit the save button. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, let's not do that. Let's go down to 0.8, hit discard, and then we're going to hit the slice button. And here we go. What's that infill? Okay, that's interesting. Don't know if I want to have the infill at that. That's really bizarre. I haven't been using that setting. Let's go down and just make some changes here. So it's a single wall loop. I'm going to change that to 3 because I can. Infill is at 100%. Wow, I don't know why that is. Let's put that down to 10. And we're going to put this on to... We want to do this relatively quickly. So let's whack it into lightning. Let's slice the plate this time. See what we get. Job's a good one. You can't see it because my face is in the way, but we're looking at a 2-hour print. And inside it looks hollow and lovely. Let's hit that onto the printer now. We'll come straight back. So scanning a Creality file is one thing, but what about in a real life scenario? Check this out. Okay, so this is a chap called Sam. He's my best friend and business partner. So we did this scan maybe a month or so ago, and it was a quick scan. We were just testing it out, and I had a problem with the scanning software, and I couldn't export it. So when I was in Chicago doing ShareFest, I spoke to Joy, and she was just like, yeah, you just need to do this. And I was like, idiot. So knowing the software is certainly half the battle. So we're going to muddle through this now and basically look at how we can basically tidy the model up. As you can see at the back here, this hasn't scanned particularly well. In fact, there's a kind of missing element here. And then we're going to tidy the file up a little bit, and then I'll show you what I've done with the file so far. So if we hit one-click process, let's quickly do that. And that should then give us this option. And this is interesting because you can see where the scan has worked, and that's all the blue parts, but anything that's red is a hole or a missing element. So we can fill that in, we can kind of mesh that together. So from an image manipulation point of view, this software probably isn't going to cut it. You might need a Blender kind of style software in order to kind of pad some of the holes and things like that. But this will just kind of do a good enough job. And hopefully you'll see in some of the prints that I'm going to output from this that it does do a pretty good job, again, without kind of messing around too much more. So that's now done. It's pinged, whatever that means. So we should now be able to edit this. There we go. There it is. So as I said before, there's this bit at the back here, and you can see here they've just basically put, the software's basically generated this part here. So he's kind of got like a weird boxy head, which is not too far from the truth. But what we do here is we'll select this. Let's see if we can do the hole filling. We can do that. And that's pretty much done. You can see all these orange parts now have disappeared. Of course, this bit here, we will cut that off very similarly to what we did in Orca Slicer earlier. And hopefully we can get that thing to generate again. Let's go back to here. That's the hole filling. We've done that. Let's hit cancel to that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to take out these little bits at the back here, which are kind of annoying. Now I'm just going to hit the shift key, basically highlight all of this stuff here and hit delete. Get rid of that. Again, we're going to add some holes in here, unfortunately, but that's just the way it is. He was wearing a coat that day, which is what we've picked up here. So let's get rid of some of this stuff. Not sure if we can... Yeah, we'll get rid of that. Get rid of some of this. That's it. I'm not going to need any of that. And the rest, we can basically cut him off from the neck here. Again, sorry, Sam. That's what we're going to do, though. Everything else doesn't look too bad. There's no other bits that are kind of floating around there that I can see in any case. So we're going to save this. That's fine. Yeah, that's cool. That's good. That's good. Let's go back into edit and just check the model again. Again, we've got a hole here now, so let's just put the hole filling bit in and knock that about. That's now, I believe, fixed that. I think it has. I think that's what the indication is. So now we should be able to export. I'm hoping anyway. Unless there's something here. Yeah, confirm, update. That should now be filled. Still got a hole there though, right? Or is this just floating sections? Pretty sure we can tidy that up though. So what we'll do, just to show you, we'll go Sam M, and we're going to save it as a .stl file, just like that. We've already done that, so let's do Sam M2 and save it into here. Okay, that's good. Here we go. Right, so here he is, Mr. Sam. We're going to size this down a little bit because this is full size. So we're going to make him a little bit smaller. Let's take him to here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut this part off around his neck. So if we grab this and hopefully move it around, maybe to about here. Come out of that. That's it. Move that around. And then we just need to drag it backwards now. Nope. There. And we're just going to perform the cut again like we did before. And that should give us almost... Really want to take that bit out as well if you can. There we go. Okay, so let's perform the cut. Then we're going to go over here into the objects. And you'll see that there's two objects there now. There's the bit that we're going to discard, which is that one. And then we've got basically Sam's face. Okay, let's move me out the way here. We're just going to stand him up now. Like that. There we go. So we're going to grab another image. Face. There it is. Let's pop it there, just like that. So this is kind of like a little ugly body dude. And we're going to basically put Sam's head on it. So he's going to absolutely hate this. But we hit this button. We're going to do the same thing again as we did before. Let's cut this off here and just give it a little bit of tilt, just like that. Pick him up. About there, I reckon is good. So perform the cut. Again, we've got those two bits again. So we'll go over to objects. And we're going to find out which one we need to get rid of, which is this one. Hit delete. There we go. And now what we're going to do is basically pop Sam's head onto this body. Now, if you try and do that inside of Orca Slicer, it will just drop that down. You can't just lift it on. So what you need to do is right-click and add part. And we're going to add a cube. Now, that cube, we're going to move out of the way for a moment. But what this does is it allows you, when you select the Sam image, to lift it up in the air, and then it stays there. Okay, so we're just going to move it over. Obviously the head's a little bit too big, but that's kind of funny. We're going to move him over a little bit more. There we go. There we go. So we're just going to basically position him on top of the head there. As you can see, obviously it's the wrong size at the moment, so let's just make it a little bit smaller, maybe to about here. Let's keep it in proportion. And then the other thing we're going to need to do is just give it a little bit of a twist like that. Oh, I'm evil. It's fine though. There we go. I mean, that is something, isn't it? Okay, so we can play and manipulate with as much as this, as we want. We can make his head smaller. We can make it, do all kinds of stuff with it. But let's put it to here and move him over to the right a little bit. Okay, 1 second. Uniform scale is on. That's good. Let's just move it over there. So we're pretty much there or thereabouts, I'd say. We need to just move around, a bit of finessing there a little bit. It might need to be a little bit bigger, actually, looking at it there. So let's just move that open and we'll pop it just like that. It doesn't always have to be as crazy ugly as this appears to be. I'll give you a quick example here. I've got a few that I did do earlier. I've got Sam as an egg, or in an egg. There he is. And we've got, probably won't show you that one. That one's got a little, he is an egg in that one. And we've also got this one. So I thought this was quite nice. This is Jumanji's The Rock with Sam's head on it. And as you can see there, we've finessed this quite a bit now. It doesn't look too bad. He looks quite hench in this one. So we're going to print these up anyway. I've got a few of them on other printers right now. But this is probably my favourite one, I'd say. Maybe we could make some tyre covers, the little air tyre caps. Maybe we could do some of those with his head on it, perhaps. Again, very much here, it's going to be down to how much time you've spent scanning. And, obviously, this part of the head here, we could basically cut a little section out on this and then copy that and then make it into this bit just as a sort of weird hairpiece. Or we could mirror this side of the head with that side. But I'm not going to do that just now. We're just going to leave it as is, and we'll put it down to perhaps next time we'll get a slightly better scan. But this one's hilarious. And this one, again, this is the same scan. So, depending on how much time you want to spend finessing things will very much depend on the results that you end up with. This is kind of like a little dinosaur thing that we put in there. I think on the back of this, there is a little weird, this was basically where I merged these two together. This is a little kind of like point that we put up there. So again, I really wanted to do something with the hair. We're not going to have time to do that inside of this video, but that is basically how you do it. Let's get everything printed and reconverse and see what you think. Let's get into it. Okay, so good news. Some of the prints have finished and we'll certainly show you how some of them have come out. But the one we really wanted to see was the owl one, which is basically this scan, as you will remember, which looks awesome. But we've scanned it and this is how it's come out. Now, this is printed in PTG Gold. And I've got to be honest, this is pretty stunning. Now, of course, it is slightly smaller because we did slice the bottom off of it, but we'll get some close-up shots of this. This is absolutely insane. Again, sure, it'd be better if it was in full color. Sure, it would be better if it was painted, perhaps. But from a quality standpoint, you're not going to take much more than that to beat it, I don't think. That is just incredible. Let's get those shots. The other thing that has finished is this. And then I messaged Sam and I was like, hey, I've done this thing, ha ha ha. And he said, well, can you do a bigger one and I can put it in my chicken coop? So we've done this one as well. So we've got two little Sams here. His body, by the way, is probably nothing like this. I doubt it anyway. It's kind of like a Danny DeVito kind of style body, but funny nonetheless. I've got some close-up shots of this and I'm going to show you some other prints that I've done. And then I'll give you my final verdict on the Creality lineup of 3D scanners. I hope you enjoyed the video, but just watch this next bit.
Oh god, he's gonna kill me.
The ecosystem division at Creality, I think, are doing a sterling job. I really do like their scanner range, and in fact, so much so, I spoke to Creality today, and they may even send me over a Raptor with wireless bridge in the hopes that I may refine my skills and do so much more than just prattling around editing my good friend Sam's face and popping it into other models' bodies. That, however, I have enjoyed beyond belief. And as we cruise into 2025, I get the impression that I'll be using the scanners a hell of a lot more to capture, edit, and print. Now, I have mentioned the wireless bridge a couple of times, and to explain exactly what that is, well, it basically looks like a handle that holds the scanner, but in fact, it is what it says in the name. It's a wireless bridge, and it uses that to communicate between your laptop or your smartphone using Wi-Fi 6 for speedy data transfer. However, if it arrives, I'll be sure to speak about it more. It does apparently have some batteries inside of it, so it is totally portable, and it is a wireless bridge. Yeah, so I think that pretty much about covers it. Thoroughly enjoyed messing around with this over the past few months. I just do want to thank a couple of people. I want to thank Joy at Creality. She has done a little bit of coaching with me on how to use this thing, and I've watched her at pretty much all of the events, basically showing people how to use these things. So it is relatively intuitive and it's not difficult to learn. I might do a few more videos on it just as I go through the motions and stuff. So if that's something of interest, obviously hit that subscribe button and obviously hit the like bell. Any comments, any communication? What do you guys think about this particular device from Creality? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it going to be fitting into what you've got going on? And certainly inside of your ecosystem. Again, as per usual, thank you very much to Pcbway and Polymaker for keeping the channel going, keeping the lights on, and thank you for watching. Any comments, leave them down in the description. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
You are watching a master at work.